got ourselves Borrowing over for the team one, ready to go on the team of Chill Pills, who's going back to the Frosty Roots with a massive mace. It looks fantastic. Hopefully the damage will match the maze, though. We got ourselves Diabolicals, we got Light Messiah, looks like potentially first up, and Saikuru in the back. Bloodlust over for the team two, ready to go. I like this classic Orc Warrior look, by the way. DJ Flex making a return to Survival Hunter, looks like first up off the bat. Katarina waiting their turn. Mommy Waifu, what a name, I like it, as a marksman with Sakura. What is that? It looks so good. Oh, that's a good set. Light Messiah first up versus DJ Flex. A little bit of bows and a missed dose last second. Light Messiah sticking more with his Vengeance Wrath guns, not going for the big crusade. Big burst out of DJ Flex, but maybe biting off more than he can chew, as it's going to be mad damage by Light Messiah. Disarm for a second. Gonna go for a quick blind onto DJ Flex. Not gonna let him get any kind of hits. Gonna be a turtle shell for DJ, since he can't attack Light Messiah anyway. Trying to see if he can go for a little bit of self heal, but looks like something disrupts at the end of the day. Light Messiah trying to see if you can back up out of there. DJ Flex, I feel like this is where you want to pressure with any ranged abilities you got versus Light Messiah. Right now is the time to just pressure the guy and make sure your pet is plenty healthy, plenty safe, but you want to make sure to keep him slow. Does pop a slow from a distance, throwing the grenades. Light Messiah trying to use the bridge to get himself some cover as he's trying to close the gap with DJ, but it's going to give him opportunities for that manic advantage. I feel like you got to catch him as soon as he's on the approachment. Hit him with the slows, hit him with all the traps, everything you need, but it looks like he's actually just going to reset, go for a full camo, just get himself complete redeem. Maybe wait for a stun. Trinket was used really early on too, so was for Light Messiah. Freezing trap right around the corner as he gets tagged up though, which is kind of unfortunate for DJ Flex. Will not be able to really use that for like DRs and whatnot. Stun around the corner. Light Messiah does not have an answer. It is going to be a wall immediately, as is a death chakra spinning right through him. Disarm for a second, but Chill Dividers together with wings. It's going to give him quite a bit of pressure. Freezing trap doesn't break it out of it somehow. I'm not even sure how that happened. DJ not great in health. Fade death last second, barely surviving the last hit, but he's not in a good spot. Oh my goodness, Light Messiah just walking by and just lopping the dude's head off with Sakura gonna be up next. Big Fist Fury in the opener, got himself Big Serenity, locking down Light Messiah. Zuen joining in, does go for the trinket, maybe a little early, as it's gonna be immediate blinding light by Light Messiah. A Searing Light, but it basically makes the monk miss the next four their Ola attacks for the next 4 seconds. Stun onto Sakuna, may want to go for a karma right here. Light Messiah no longer has a bubble, he has a blessing of protection, so at least one immunity. If you're careful, you may be able to still use that karma for it, or use karma to force Bob, reset, catch yourself a bit of healing, could be good for you. Sakuna try to go for a Fist of Fury, blessing of protection comes out really early, you just gotta live it and then go for the karma, and then there's not much Light Messiah can do, but you gotta live. Oh, while the immunity is up, the Paladin just keeps slamming Big Templars into the Monk's Bloodlust with a Stormbolt onto Light Messiah. Big bleed, got himself the banner. Wither of like Light needs to use everything that he can to live this. Shield of Vengeance, he's got a massive bleed. The man needs as much recovery as possible. Stun onto the onto Warrior for just a second. You need to pop a slow on the guy and try to see if you can disconnect. Big lay on hands to give him a little bit more survivability. Full wings at the ready, so you might be able to stabilize here. As long as you're very, very careful with your resources and you play more defensively than aggressively, you might be okay. Bloodlust does not have any ways to heal. Got himself a reflect. Stun onto Light Messiah, does not have a way out of the stun. Still needs to stabilize. See a big parry up for the Warrior. This is his last bastion of defense. Light Messiah needs something right now. Could maybe go counter offensive. Potentially big executes to follow. Does go for a stun. Looking for a bit of a reset. Needs something right now. Otherwise he's in a lot of trouble. Bloodlust needs to reconnect. He's got him on the ropes. Big leap over. Looking for the execute. Does try to get it blind to follow. Light Messiah, I don't know if he's got anything at all left. Trying to go for Glare. Does it connect? No, I think it might. Oh, you probably should have still let it happen. You should have sent it. I think he was trying to see if he could get maybe parried or interrupted on it, but maybe should have just sent it. Maybe should have just trusted the light, man. Just trusted the light. That was so close. But the Paladin swapping from a Crusade build to a normal Avenging Wrath does give you a little bit of that longevity, does give you quite a bit of burst, just not like a massive one-shot nuke burst. Did Bloodlust run second wind? It looked like he was trying to get away from Diabolicals, wait out something, but maybe there was still a dot kind of harassing him, not letting him catch a bit of a reheal. But fighting a Succubus, able to catch up at least an impending victory or two. We'll need to find a way to approach Diabolical in the best way possible. That is a Warlock with a lot of CC, so if you can plant a banner at a right time, you can remove a lot of it. That is a lot of mobility for the Warlock too. Hitting you with the curses immediately, Storm Bolt off the bat. You need to be careful with the Succubus though. If you can pre-blaze storm the Succubus CC, I think it'll be in a golden spot. Soulfire, I don't know if you can really do anything about it. Got himself Reflect, trying to see if he can charge out, at least using the Spell Reflect to reduce some of the magic damage, but Diabolica's just able to sprint away from you. Look at him go, unable to get slowed. Massive bolts of chaos flying from every portal with a chaos bolt. Try to see if you can dodge it. Still lets a chaos bolt fly either way though. I don't even know how that happened, but the Succubus assaulting you from the left hand side as you just don't have any ways to heal right now. It needs to find a way to break away from combat into a trinket off of that Succubus CC. Reflect up really early. Bonds are fell, but you're setting next to an Infernal. You want to break it, gotta go for a parry. Try to see if that'll give you enough survivability. It's gonna get ported, but still staying on top of the platform. Cannot really evade Diabolical's or his demonic companions. Diabolical got himself a fantastic spot. I don't know how Bloodless is going to do it. He needs to get himself the big bleed again onto Dia. I think that's what he needs to do, is bleed out the Warlock as best as possible. If you can Spell Reflect like a Mortical, that'd be great. Into a Succubus CC as he goes in for a stun, but the Succubus is way too potent. Soulfire is going to do a ton of damage. Charging in. Does he have any more healing whatsoever? Oh my god. Sharpened blades, but just couldn't quite connect at the end. And Dia looking pretty healthy right now as Katarina trying to approach from the left-hand side, trying to use the ramp. What was that? Hold on a second. It looked like you were like jumping into line of sight. Were you trying to like line of sight? Was it just trying to juke out Dia maybe? To get him to use mobility? Or is that just like you misplaying that? I'm not even sure. It looked kind of neat. He did a little backflip, but that's really about it. Hunt to follow immediately. Dia going for a port. Maybe that's what Katarina was trying to do. Trying to get the Warlock to use the ports really early on. And now you got a demon spawning in with you. Could pick up the demonic soul. Does nab it. And that's going to be the Warlock kind of out in the open. Succubus CC needs to come into play. Katarina does have a trick for it. Using it immediately with the Metamorphosis right after. If you could have used meta to juke out the Succubus CC, that would have been perfect. Big Fear, Soulfire to follow Katarina. Needs to break the Bonds of Fell. Doesn't want to do it though. Might actually end up doing it inadvertently as portals join, and then that's going to be pretty big damage for Dia. Does have a soul report. Mortical available. Katarina out in the open. Cannot really do much about it. Just Incinerates flying from around the side, but nothing can do. Oh, jumping out of the darkness definitely was not the play though. I think Panic maybe at some point. Mommy Wife are going to be up next. Immediately freezing Succubus. Dia knows this is not a good situation to be in. Needs to get away from Succubus because he knows the Hunter got to be somewhere out in the open. Kind of guessing where the Hunter could be. And making the right guesses. Mommy Wife are kind of out in the open, hopes to maybe get the line of sight to be able to go for full sniper shot. Succubus is gonna find it. Just picked up the eyes. Dia just couldn't even see him for a second. Didn't realize he's actually right over. Is he playing? Even Dia is just trying to figure out, is he in play? Mommy Wife, are you good? Popping defensives. No, he's popping cooldowns. I think he's in play. Or lagging? I'm not even sure. As Dia jumping down, still also confused just as much as I am whether Mommy Wife is in play. Charging out, must be in play, right? He is, yeah, Mortical, rapid fire to follow. Gonna be a trinket on Mommy Wife, who does go for the silence over into Dia. If you're careful enough with that silence, you might be alright actually. Actually, double silence. The first was just a normal interrupt. Now is the Chimeric Poison. Is gonna be a board together with the Bonds of Fall, breaking it with the board teleport on the enemy target into a rapid fire right after. Infernal dropping in, Immolate to follow. I think it's just over, just a matter of time until my wife is done. Let's go for feign death. Anything? I think it's just done. Dia just ended up diabolically ripping away the enemies little by little, bit by bit, not letting them get too much of a play. 3 kills? I felt like it was more, but I guess it's just 3. Oh yeah, like Messiah does get pick up 2, doesn't he? Dude, Dia pops off, man. Dia's and Destro still popping off. They haven't touched that class at all, have they? Or was it only nerfs? It's either, I can't remember what class that's, if Destro's gotten only nerfs or like they just never really touched them since like the 10.1.5, but the class still does plenty well. Let's get us another one going here, boys, yeah?